Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's Barba223 back with another video. So today we are going to be doing the Magic Necromancer build. It's a little bit similar to the same gear sets that I'm using on my Stamina Templar, but I do have a different set. This is a no proc build. They're quote unquote no procs, we'll say, because that's how I like to play the game. I don't really like to use procs that much. I don't know, it's just me. But without any further ado, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome back to another video, and let's just get into it. Okay, so anyways, let's just do character screen first, I guess, because why the hell not? So is this my front bar? Yeah, okay. So the front bar, we have 36k magic, 27k health, 19k stamina, 1400 magic recovery before we're buffed up. That gets up to like 2k almost. Health recovery 1000, stamina recovery, who cares? um, so spell damage is 2600 unbuffed, spell critical 25%, spell penetration is 6500 also unbuffed, and then same goes for weapon damage. Spell resistance is 15k, physical resistance 15k, and then buffed up we are at 21k. Crit resistance 1800, that's before we are buffed. That is so this essentially gets doubled to like 3600. We're using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, we're using the Adrenochromundus Mundus. So yeah. Now let's get into the gear. So the gear. First, we're using the Master Ice Staff. There are a couple reasons why I'm using a Master Ice Staff. One, it immobilizes, and the immobilization proc is a lot quicker than it is like a hard CC. So that's really good for me. I like being able to immobilize people over and over and over and over. It wastes people's stamina, and let's be honest, it pisses people off. We do have Sharpened as a trait. We're using a Frost Glyph. You can really use whatever glyph you want. I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Now the reason we're using an ice staff, let's just get down to it here. So destruction staff, as you can see, frost clench does a crap ton of things to people. So frost clench, it costs less than all the other ones for one. It deals a little bit less damage, but I don't really care about that because our main source of damage is blast bones. It applies major maim, which, you know, it is a huge debuff for people. Reducing damage done is insanely good. And it immobilizes, taunts the enemies, doesn't matter in PvP, whatever. But the immobilize and the major maim are incredibly good. So, and it also costs less, which makes it a very good spammable. It's 1300, so yeah, it doesn't do as much damage, but it literally costs almost nothing. So it's really, really good for that reason. So that's why we're using a Frost Staff. Yeah. So on the back bar, we are using Rallying Cry. I think it's my new bread and butter set. It's really, really good. We are using a Berserker Glyph to get that extra spell damage whenever we use a light or heavy attack. And then on the trait, we're actually going to use Precise. Now, the reason I'm using Precise is because the set literally procs on crits. So having that 30% crit on the back bar is very, 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 very good. So what this set gives is crit chance, max magic, crit chance. And then when Battle Spirit is active, aka whenever you're in PvP, if you crit heal yourself or an ally, it gives you up to you and 11 other group members within 12 meters. So um, if they're not within it, it won't give it to them and you'll get the full bonus, but you get 290 weapon and spell damage, 1600 crit resist for 20 seconds. Very long buff. And then each group member reduces the buff by 14 and 80. Not that big of a deal. And this can occur every 15 seconds. So the main thing to note here is the cooldown is shorter than the duration, meaning 100% uptime is extremely easy. And this is even easier on a Necromancer because if you use the tether as your dot healing over time, your hot, you see how fast that ticks. So it's ticking constantly at a 30% chance. It's going to proc all the time. So for the monster set, we're using Engine Guardian. It's just too good. I don't know. Maybe it's a crutch. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's just good. It's fun to use. It helps me. I don't know what else to say about it. But if you do want to use something else, you could use Balorg or the new set, Magma Incarnate. So yeah. And then our other 5-piece set, it's going to be our 5 pieces on the body, is Heartland Conqueror. This set has been one of my favorites since it came out. It's amazing. I love it. It's so good. It gives you weapon and spell damage. It gives you max magic. It gives you stamina. And then it increases your traits by 100%. As you can see, that's why I have 6500 for sharpened and then 14% for precise. So yeah, and I'm on the body like I said. So we are using 1 heavy, 2 heavy, 3 heavy, 4 heavy, and then 3 medium. I don't really think light armor's worth it anymore, considering that the medium bonuses are like better. You know, I mean, I gotta put the, oh, by the way, I forgot to buy this. Don't hate me, but crit damage, crit chance, um, and a lot of other things. I mean, you get stand recovery, reduce the cost of your abilities, weapon and spell damage, and movement speed. So it's really good. I think it's a lot better than light armor, but that's just my opinion. So as the rest of our gear goes, we are using rallying cry for the rest. As you can see, we're using all magic recovery. If you want to switch out of spell damage, feel free. If you want to change the trait to infuse, feel free. Whatever you want to do with the jewelry is up to you. If you do want an alternate in terms of gear, hypothetically, you could drop Engine Guardian one piece, right? Put on a Rallying Cry piece, and then throw on Malakath. That's up to you. I really don't really care, to be honest. I kind of like having the extra or normal crit damage. I don't know. I didn't notice that much of a difference with Malakath, and I didn't find it worth it to drop my monster set that helped me so much. So, yeah. But anyways, for the skills, on the front bar we're using Mage Light. It gives you extra damage essentially because you get the 5% magic. You get extra spell crit, so it helps. It's really nice. It's a good one. We're using Elemental Drain. Now this is a spot, I mean, I guess it could be a flex, but it gives that extra, that major breach, which is huge. It's free, and it gives you 320 recovery, because hitting them gives you 168 every second. So it is really good, but if you don't want to use it, you could use Skeletal Arcanist. It's not great. I feel like they need a rework with this skill. This skill's kind of trash, but you could also use Mystic Siphon. This one's also solid. It's not great, but it does give you recovery, just like the um, Elemental Drain does. Sorry, my mind didn't work for a minute. Elemental Drain gives you that extra recovery, and so does Mystic Siphon. So this will do damage for you, something that Elemental Drain does not do, and this will give you 3% extra damage. So it's like, well, would I rather have the penetration, or would I rather have that tiny bit of damage? I think we're going to go with the penetration, so that's just me. So Degeneration does a dot, it's cheap. It's a sorcery, or like a Mage's Guild's ability, and it does Major Brutality and Major Sorcery. Stalking Blast Bones. You know how this is. Bread and butter of the Necromancer. It does a lot of damage. The longer it takes, the more damage it does. You know, it's kind of stupid sometimes. It doesn't work correctly, but it's incredibly good. So, it's a must. And then Frost Clench, like I explained earlier. Another option, just to let you guys know, is you could do this, and then you could throw on Force Pulse right here. So you could just use Frost Clench to get that immobilized, and then use Force Pulse as your spammable. It's up to you. I like using the cheap one, and I really, really like having Elemental Drain. I feel like the Elemental Drain makes up for the damage that you get with the Force Pulse. So, in terms of an ultimate, we are using Ice Comet. It hits hard, it stuns, it slows, it does dot damage. Now, the reason I have a problem with it is because, for one, it's so freaking easy to block. Like, it's really rare that you're going to get that full hit, you know? It's annoying because it does just get blocked so easily. Now, if it's in a group, like BGEs, if you're fighting a bunch of people and you drop it on someone, they probably aren't going to notice. So that's really nice, and it'll hit a lot of people at once. But I don't know, it just, this ultimate kind of pisses me off, for being honest. It doesn't work great. So I am testing back and forth to see if Colossus is better. Colossus is great, but also it can just be dodged pretty freaking easily. So I'm really debating. I'm even debating on trying the Elemental Storm. But to be fair, you could just use Dawnbreaker. I mean, Dawnbreaker's great. It's a really, really, really nice skill. So I'm not going to hate on you if you use that instead. It's really nice. So, because Dawnbreaker is a great option. I mean, look at it. It hits hard when it's on my bar. So, up to you. But that's just how I see it. It's kind of frustrating, you know? But anyways, that is the skills on the front bar. So on the back bar, we're using Beckoning Armor. Now I know, so I might get some hate for this. Beckoning Armor, for me, is the better one. Even though the other one gives you reduced costs on some casts, I don't really care about that. This is better because, for one, Necromancer lacks a hard CC. And also, this pisses off bow builds, it pisses off sorcerers. It makes people mad that are far away. It's that simple. It'll even proc on certain people that are like not that far. Like, even some melee builds, like I'll get it to proc on some DKs using Flame Lash, which is really weird, but I will. And nonetheless, it's still a cheap skill. It causes a corpse, and it pulls people towards you and really helps you catch up to those people that want to run away. So I like it. Spirit Guardian, I feel like is a must. I tried to use the other version of it, Spirit Mender, I think, that does the double healing. I'm not a fan, one, because it only lasts for 8 seconds. I feel like I'm casting it constantly. Although it's cheaper, it's not worth it. This one gives you major protection at all times. Like, that just can't be traded up for anything. It's so good. Race Against Time, now something I also tested with. I also tested out Radiating Regeneration instead. I keep coming back to Race Against Time. The cleanse, like the immobilizations and cleanse from snares is just incredible. You can get out of any sticky situation, really. Having your passive heals up and running away is amazing. And you also get that extra crit damage for 12 seconds, which isn't a super long time, but you do use Race Against Time a decent amount, so it's really, really nice. And it's a get out of jail free card, basically. If you're getting chased by a DK or really anything that slows you, you're gonna get away, and it's pretty much like, hey, I'm out of here, see you later. So it's really good. And then being in medium armor, you also get that extra speed boost and reduced cost of sprint, which is what saves my life a lot of the time. So that's why I'm a big fan of medium armor as well. It pairs well with Race Against Time. So here's our bread and butter heal. It's a strong, 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 strong heal. Gives you half the resistance that you healed. Really, really good. It reduces your healing taken for 8%, but who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make that big of a difference. It's only 4 seconds, and it's incredible. And then here we're using Mortal Coil. I'll never, ever get rid of its ability. Like I said, it procs our Rallying Cry constantly. It's super, super strong. I know it says 16,000 over 12 seconds, which doesn't seem like that crazy of a number, but for me, it heals like it heals like a truck, if you want to say it. It's so good. It saves my life. It keeps me. If I have this going, I don't think I've ever died in a 1v1. Like, it's just so strong. And then on top of it, it's giving you 100 stam recovery. Actually, I'm sorry, it's giving you like 200 stam recovery. So it's really nice because it's restoring over 100 a second, so that's going to give you 200 recovery. And then it extra increases your healing on top of it. So real, real good. And then lastly, we're using Life Giver. Again, this is kind of a get out of jail free. I'm not going to lie, I really hate people that use Bone Goliath, so I don't like to use it. And this is super expensive, so I don't really care about it. Like, having that crazy, crazy heal from this is basically like I'm not going to die type of thing. How hard are you to kill with this? I'm sure everyone knows. If someone uses this, it's like, alright, well, I'm just going to stop fighting you. Yeah, it's incredible. So that's pretty much the build. I would like you guys to stay tuned for a little bit of gameplay at the end if you feel so inclined. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you enjoyed the video, please comment. If you hated the video, please comment still. I want to hear it. And if you enjoyed the video so much that you want to see the rest of my videos, hit me with a subscribe to never miss an upload. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Stay tuned for the gameplay and have a good one.
since Outbreak. My cub sister said she saw people building houses out of mud.